Hey, how's it going guys? Reed here and welcome to ReadReborn. Hope you guys are having a brilliant day. In today's video we're going to be talking about the controversial topic that is pay to win. Obviously we're not going to be talking about pay to win in general, we're just going to be looking at that sort of aspect in Riders of Icarus, sort of going through the cash shop, the microtransaction currency, all different stuff like that, and sort of judging and sort of overall summing up whether the cash shop in this game is pay to win and whether Riders of Icarus can be considered pay to win. So let's go. Okay, so first up let's just head over to the cash shop and let's just sort of talk about this thing. So obviously we're just going to go through all of the sort of different pages in the cash shop and stuff like that. So the first thing that we're going to notice is the NX charge up here. Basically over all of Nexon's games they have like NX charge, which is basically just like a Nexon currency that you can sort of transfer into different games and transfer them into different games currencies. So in the Nexon charge thing, obviously you can top that up and pay real money to get this Nexon charge. It is £5 for every 7,000 NX, as they call it. So if we just quickly, so this is the main page, we don't really need to know about that. So if we just look at this first page, we're going to see basically we can buy Ellens. Obviously we can buy the microtransaction currency used in Riders of Icarus. So £5 English pounds is going to get you 7,000 NX. So if we look at 10, it's 1,300, 40, 4,900, and so on and so on and so on. It's basically £5 for 50 Ellens. You're going to have a little bit of the NX spare, but you're not going to be able to buy any unless you put any more money on. So with the amount that you can buy with 7,000, you can get 50 Ellens. And looking at that, that's around £1 for every single 10 Ellens. And obviously the more you buy, obviously sort of like bulk buy, they're going to give you a couple of extra for spending more money and stuff. So at the current state of the game, it's roughly around £1 for 10 Ellens. So now we're going to look at the shop, sort of compare those prices and see how expensive stuff is and whether it can be considered pay to win and stuff. So the next thing we have in the cash shop is the lucky box system. Basically in Riders of Icarus there are sort of these random boxes, you buy these random boxes with Ellens. It's literally just sort of RNG chance that you're going to get familiar skins. If we just quickly hit up the bestiary and then look at familiar skins, as you can see we have all the different types of mounts in Riders of Icarus. So we've got like horse, reindeer, you can read all that, there's tons, all the flying ones and ground ones. And then we can look at all the different sort of skins that you can have for that mount. So for the bull, and obviously different skins give different bonuses, obviously the more rarer ones giving the better bonuses and stuff. So that's what skins are used for in Riders of Icarus. Basically we can buy these boxes and they're just going to give us a random skin. It could be common, elite or heroic. Basically that's 30 Ellens, so £3 for a shot at a heroic skin, £3 for a skin, £3 to change the look of your mount. Is that worth it? Personally I wouldn't really think so. I think that's, and then the premium one just sort of can give you all of the different ones, just a random one. The ground ones obviously for ground mounts only, the aerial one is for aerial mounts only, and the premium can be any, and that one's £5 if you look at it at the sort of price conversion. I haven't put any money onto this game and I've had over like 200. So the game does give you quite a lot anyway. That's like £20 if we look at it in that way. That's quite a lot of money in microtransaction currency that the game has given us, so I think personally that's quite good, all of that stuff. But these things personally I wouldn't put on £3 to have a shot at trying to get a skin for a mount. Like personally it's not really appealing to me. That's just something that I wouldn't really want to spend my money on. I'd prefer to spend my money on other things. But the good thing about this is not just completely RNG. Well, it is RNG. If you don't get what you want, it's not all over. It's not like, oh shit, we have to spend another £3 because I didn't get that rare, that heroic mount skin that I was looking for. Luckily, you can spend 10p, which is the equivalent, on a familiar skin dismantling tool. So if you get your skin, you don't like it, you've already got it or something like that, you can literally just buy one of these things and you can change your skin into these things called lucky coins. Every sort of skin you break down, you get these things called lucky coins, and they can be traded for skins by an outfitter, a familiar outfitter. So if you spend loads of money, you don't get the thing you want at all. It basically means you can just keep breaking them down and then eventually save up enough lucky coins to get the one that you want anyway, which is pretty cool. I think that sort of does reduce the sort of the pain of spending so much money on these skins for mounts is pretty good. I think it definitely sort of dampens the impact of spending money, because you know in the long run if you don't get what you want you can just buy it from saving up anyway. So it's sort of annoying that these are all RNG anyway, but in the long run you can sort of save up, you can sort of get what you want in the end. So that is the lucky box system. So yeah, we've gone through the Ellen system, NX system and the lucky box. So now we're going to look at the convenience page. So everything here is sort of just convenience, just sort of things that you might need in the game. As we can see, bag slots, increase in bag size. I bought one of these are really effective. I think I liked these really a lot. Then we've just got also just these little things, sort of like a portable banker, portable auction house person, there's portable storage, and stuff like that. So that all, so the bag's £5, portable auction £3, portable. And obviously, yeah, the more days you have it for, the more expensive it's going to be. So £8 for 30 days to have an auction person walking around with you. Again, would I like to spend £8 on something where a person's following me around just so I can use the auction house out in the world and not spend like 5-10 silver just to get back to the city to do it? No, I wouldn't do it. But again, if you got the money, then that's obviously going to be something you want for. That's going to be something that you want to do. So the next thing, that's that top row. The bottom row we have the transit shrine pass. So it just means that sort of, yeah, you don't have to pay any money for transits, which is pretty good. That saves quite a lot of money actually, especially after 30 days of travelling. That's a good couple of gold, I reckon, that you would have saved. But that is £10. £10 just to save a little bit of gold in a game. Again, that one's kind of worth it. I can see why people would be tempted to get that one. I'm guessing why that one's saying best, because that's probably popular. I can see why that one's popular. That is quite good. Then if we skip forward, we've got some £1.50. We've got some stamina potions, mana potions and health potions. They're going to recover all of your health, mana and stamina all the way, which are they are very helpful sometimes in fights. But personally I haven't really needed to use that many. I've still got quite a lot left from when the game gave me some, and if you look at the sort of rewards for just logging on and stuff, they give you some after a couple of days again. So it's really not too bad, I don't think. And obviously with sort of like Alchemy, you can craft your own potions that give you plenty of enough health to survive a fight, so they're not really too needed, but sometimes they do come in very handy. And for £1.50, again, they're not too bad. That's fairly reasonable. And then 10p, we've got the Megaphone. Currently they cannot be used, hence all the gold, or for all the gold sellers, just because they were spamming the whole game. Luckily it's calmed down a bit. I had to block quite a lot of people. If we just check my blocked, I blocked all these people just because they were getting on my tits. It was so annoying. But yeah, so 10p for a Megaphone just to shout to the whole server. Again, something useful if you're looking for a raid, a group or something for something, then that's going to be fairly useful. And 10p, that's not too bad. It's nothing really. So the next one, we're looking at the buffs. We've got some XP boosts here. Nothing really too pay to win, I would say. Overall, out of all the pages we've looked at, I wouldn't say any of this is pay to win. Like, you're not really helping your character at all. Like, Ellen is sort of not even convenience. It's like how stuff looks. Some of this stuff, again, is just sort of, it is literally convenience, like stuff to help you out. Oh, I forgot the second page actually. Megaphone 10 pack, and then sort of a walk past to the individual dungeons. Again, they're only 10p, really cheap, and that's again convenience, just saves you money so you don't have to travel and use the transit shrines and stuff. So yeah, like I said, we're onto the buff page now. So it's basically XP boosters for your familiar. This just literally, I'm not 100% sure how much this increases XP by, but I don't think it's too much. If we look at some of the other potions, they're 10% for 10 minutes. I'm not 100% sure if these ones are 10%, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be too much. Looking at the price, it's 10. It's only £1, 50p, £2, and that one's £9. But yeah, no, they're really not too bad. Again, would I spend money on just getting my familiar up quicker and stuff? No, because they get up pretty quick enough anyway, and if you like a mount, you're going to use it loads and you're not really going to need a potion because it's going to level up quick anyway. Again, so yeah, this wouldn't really something I'd buy, but it's just sort of an XP booster. I guess if you're sort of got a new mount that you really like, your max level, you want to try and get up as quick as you can, then I would buy that, yes, maybe. But going through the game and using mounts, no. Okay, so that's those first 4. If we just continue on, we've got the Tempering Success Booster. Now, this one is kind of edgy. I think I'm going to leave that until the end to sort of talk about that. Taming Success Booster, again, that's just so you can get mounts. Again, this isn't as bad as the Tempering thing, but I suppose if you want to chuck in a ton of money into the game, and so you can capture the best mounts, it's going to mean that you can get the best gear, you're going to get the best seal stones, the best pets, and stuff like that. So I don't really know if that's considered pay to win. Like, in the long run, if you looked at it, it potentially could be, because if tons of people are struggling with this one mount that's going to give some really good stats, you pop this potion, gives you 10% increase chance, and obviously there's a higher chance, it's more likely you're going to catch it. So it could be considered like pay to win if you spent a ton of these, got all the best mounts in the game, literally just farmed them, got some as a pet, got some as a mount, got some as seal stones, put them on your gear, got all the best stats. Looking at it like that, it could be considered pay to win, because obviously if you've got, it's only 3 Ellens, so it's like 30p. But if you've got like a ton of money that you can spend in that, and you know exactly, you've got a game plan, you know what mounts you need, you know what mounts you want, you spent a ton of money getting all the best mounts and all the best stats, then possibly could be seen as pay to win. But if you just want the odd mount, if you just want the odd mount just to look cool when you're flying around, if you just want the odd mount just because you need another seal stone for your gear, you need to fill up the seal stone section in your gear, then that's fine. But when you look at it in the long run, sort of like spending a lot of money, then yeah, I think it could be looked at as pay to win, because the more money you spend in that, the more mounts you can get, and like I just said, the more pets, the more seal stones and stuff like that. Okay, so next up we have the Triumphant crafting chance, or the higher chance of getting Triumphant when you're crafting, which basically sort of like doubles the quantity, increases the quality a little bit. This happens naturally anyway when you're crafting, so I wouldn't really say that this is too needed, unless you really want something. I wouldn't really see the need for this, so no, I wouldn't really say that's pay to win. I'm guessing it just increases your chances really, which isn't too bad. And then we've got an auction fee discount. Obviously, to list things on the auction house, it costs money, and the sales fee is reduced as well. So that's again, that's sort of kind of convenience. It is just really handy to have. Obviously, saves you money, which is just pretty good. Again, I wouldn't really say pay to win. Like, yes, you're saving money. Yes, you could use that saved money to buy gear and stuff. But no, I wouldn't consider that pay to win. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the Tempering Success Booster. So obviously in Riders of Icarus, you have Tempering Stones. I've made a video all about Tempering Stones. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But yes, we have Tempering Stones in Riders of Icarus, and all of the gear can be upgraded. Gear and weapons can be upgraded to +20 as a maximum. So obviously all of my gear I've got up to like +10 at the moment, all of the frozen gear that I've got. And yeah, it's pretty good. I like the idea of tempering, the fact that you can sort of get the edge just by upgrading your gear from stuff that you can get in the game. You don't really have to put too much money in, but the thing is, getting up to +10 is really not too bad. It's not too hard at all. But then we start getting to the things above +20, above +10, and in the realms of 10 to 20. Now this is where, from 0 to 10, your sort of upgrade can't go down. It can stay the same or go up, that's it. Past +10, it can start to go down. And this is where things like that, like this Tempering Stone thing, the Tempering Chance, can be very, very useful. So if we just quickly look at, like, this is my highest level Tempering Stone, level 95. The chance is like normal at the moment. Like, it could go up, it could go down. It's pretty... So, and we can pay, so if we get that little potion that gives us an increased tempering chance, and then we pay, so to stop it from going downgrade, to stop it from downgrading, that is, I would consider that fairly pay to win. Like, this is 10, so £1 to stop your weapon downgrading. If you want to chuck a ton of money into this game, you could easily get up your weapons to plus 15, plus 20 maximum, easily just by chucking the things at the game, because your weapon can't go down. You have no reason, you can't fail. And when it comes to stuff like obviously in PvE, it doesn't really matter, like yeah, you're going to do more damage than other people, but in PvP, comparing people that spend money on the game, comparing those people to people that don't spend money on the game, like I haven't spent any money on any of the D rank protection yet, so all of my stuff is just plus 10. If I came up against someone in PvP that had all plus 20 gear, that's double my gear. Like, we could have the same gear, but the fact that they've spent about 20 quid on the game means that they are just going to wreck me. Like, they've got double the stats on their gear compared to me. So I would, it's kind of a tough one, because it's not pay to win. Like, it kind of, I'm debating, like it is, I would kind of say it is, because the more money you put into this game, the higher your stats are going to be on a weapon. And when you compare things like, well, pay to win is just like, the more money you put in, the more you win. And looking at stuff like PvP, the more money you put into this, you're going to have a better chance of winning, because you're going to have a higher you're going to have a higher chance, you're going to have higher damage, higher defense, stuff like that. You're going to be harder to kill, and easier to kill other people. So for this, I would personally say that this is pay to win, and not full out pay to win. Like obviously, they've allowed players to get up to plus 10 without having to spend a penny, which is great. And in the open beta, or no, I mean the closed beta, it was a lot worse. I think you couldn't even get up to like plus 5 without having to start putting money on. So they've allowed us to get up to plus 10, which is really good. Obviously pleased that they've done that. It lets players get up to a little higher level, have a little bit of a higher advantage and stuff, and it sort of separates the like expert players from the normal players, like people that don't really have enough tempering stones, can't really get enough tempering stones, are only going to get their gear up to like plus 5, plus 6. But people that can get enough tempering stones to temper all of their gear to plus 10 without having to spend a penny, that is the way to do it. But then you have the next level people that could, yeah, money's nothing. They could chuck on 30, 40 quid and get all of their gear up to plus 20. Obviously they'd have to get the tempering stones, which would take a while, but they've got the tempering stones to make sure that their gear doesn't fail. If they've got the tempering stones, their gear can't fail, and basically, yeah, they're going to be double what the best players that don't pay any money are going to be, which I would personally say is pay to win in a PvP situation. Obviously not PvE, but PvP, yes. So that is the one thing that I would consider pay to win in Riders of Icarus so far in the whole shop, which isn't too bad. That's just that one thing, and again, that's only for like your hardcore players. If there's a guild that are looking to do the hardest content as fast as possible, then yes, they might chuck on some money for PvE, and good for them. But in PvP, if that is the case where people can be double your stats and stuff just from chucking money on, then yeah, I would consider that pay to win, and I'm sure people would agree with me that can be seen as definitely pay to win. So if we just continue to go through the cash shop, we're now in the appearance section. We've got a character customization voucher, £8.50 to change your character. No, personally I would not do that. That is really expensive, I think. Like, you can't really see your character anyway. Your character wears armour, like, it really doesn't bother me. And then we've got a ton of uniforms for a £5. Again, they're not too bad. Again, it's just an outfit just to make your character look just to look fancy. It doesn't have any stats or anything like that, so no pay to win there. And then if we look at the special thing, we have the Adventurers package, which is just a ton of sort of stuff. We get a bag, some of those 100% health and mana potions, and some Ellens as well, which is quite nice. And that's a bag pack, and with 7,000 for £5. So as you can sort of compare the prices here. Next up we have the an Ellen package. This one's pretty good. So we get 80 Ellens for, how much is that? 7 of them. That's like £3.50 for 80, which is really good considering all the other prices have been like 80 is £8. This one is £3.50 for £8 worth, which is pretty good. Open beta Ellen package, I definitely recommend to get that. If you're going to beat Ellens, if you're going to be buying Ellens using the NX charge, get that one, because that is good deals. Right, so next up we have the premium service. Obviously this is sort of the, like, if any of you have played Rift, which is free to play, they have like a patron status, which is basically the people that just want to continue paying to play the game. They're obviously going to get a ton of benefits. Like, obviously the game is free to play, people don't have to spend a penny, but for the people that do, they can sort of get, it's basically just having a sort of benefits to subscription in a non-subscription game. So premium service is going to give you a ton of benefits, sort of like a load of potions every day, XP bonus for yourself, your mounts, your pets, and all stuff like that. Which is really handy, obviously, when you're leveling up. I don't think it gives you any, well, it doesn't give you any increase in stats or anything like that. So in like a PvP situation, being a premium member is not going to give you a sort of advantage over any other player, which is good. It's just literally just an XP bonus, help you while leveling and stuff like that, and just helps you out with potions. It's saving you money. Just yeah, it's sort of convenience based. It's not really a pay to win sort of service. So yeah, and that is the premium service in Riders of Icarus. So guys, that was a very long-winded video. I did not mean for that to go on quite long. That's going to be interesting to see how long this actually is. But in this video, obviously we were covering quite a big topic. Obviously with Nexon, even before this game came out, the fact that Nexon was publishing it, people were like, oh, but pay to win, oh. Which, yeah, I can understand. I mean, previously it was not brilliant, so I can see why people would said that. They were a bit concerned. But obviously going through the whole cash shop in Riders of Icarus at the moment, sort of looking at all of the things that are sold, whether they are pay to win or not, and whether the game can be considered pay to win. So personally, overall, I would say that Riders of Icarus is, or cannot be considered pay to win. It's really not pay to win. There's one or two things that are kind of like, it can be seen as pay to win if you chuck a ton of money in, which is understandable. I mean, they're going to have a little something, aren't they? But obviously it's quite expensive, so players are going to have to chuck a ton of money into the game if they actually want that. But apart from that one little tempering thing, there's no way the game can be considered pay to win. They've listened, Nexon have listened to us in Devblog 3. They said that they didn't want to sell anything that gave other players a competitive advantage, which is really nice to hear. So they are listening, and they've tried to suit Riders of Icarus Cash Shop to Western players, tried to make it not pay to win, because they know people aren't going to like it. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this long overview of the cash shop and whether or not Riders of Icarus is pay to win. If you did enjoy, please feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for future Riders of Icarus videos in the future. But anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'm sure I will see you again really soon.